Hello and welcome back to my channel. You'll know by the title of today's video that this is the 24 books that I want to try and prioritise reading in 2024. So there are a decent mixture of books on here, of new ones that I've only recently gotten and some old ones that have been on my shelf for far too long. So these aren't in any particular order, these are just what I've written down in my reading journal. You will see all these spreads coming in a video soon, so don't panic. But the first one which I have is the Thursday Murder Club. Now, I have been desperately dying to get to this series for so long, honestly. And I've had it for maybe just over a year, I think. And I've recently just bought the third and the fourth book, so now I have no excuse because I have the whole series. I can read them back to back, which is what I wanted to do. So if I don't get to that series in 2024, I don't know what's going on if I don't. Next up is a book which I don't actually own at the minute. I say at the minute because I'm either determined to buy it or I might just listen to the audiobooks off Spotify. I haven't quite decided yet, and that is Caraval. A lot of these will be starts of series because I'm hoping to possibly try and finish as many as I can before I start some new ones. Like, the reason why I haven't read some of these books so far is because I haven't wanted to start new series when I'm already in the middle of so many, because it just seems silly. Like, I'm the person that likes to read series back to back, unless obviously the next book isn't out yet. Next up is one which I'm very intrigued by, but I'm not gonna lie, I've not heard the best things about recently, which is My Dark Romeo. I love the cover of this one. I absolutely adore it, so whether I like the book or not, it's staying on my shelf. If it's a DNF, that's fine. The cover is beautiful, so you know, that's definitely gonna be kept, but it's whether I will like it or not. I'm hoping that I will, because I don't mind like a darker romance or a morally grey character, as long as there is some kind of redeeming quality. So hopefully I will not be disappointed. Next up is one which I heard of ages ago called Lotus. This has been on my like want to read list literally since I started reading at the beginning of last year. This, I believe, is meant to be like a really more meaningful romance that's not so light and fluffy and cheesy. It's got a bit more like emotional depth to it, I believe. I can't remember because it's been so long since I've heard about it, but again, the cover is absolutely stunning. Next up is such a popular one that I've heard loads of people talk about last year especially. I've heard a few mixed things, but I think the majority of people really love this book, and I have a feeling that I will as well. I just don't know if I'm ready to handle something sad yet, because I've literally recently just read a sad book and struggled through it, and that is If He Had Been With Me. That's the book that I want to read, not the one I've just read. I've just read Full Tilt and All In. That was a lot. But yeah, If He Had Been With Me is on my 24 books to read in 2024 list. I've also got A Love Letter to Whiskey on this list, and I can't really remember the premise of this one either. This one is very similar to like Lotus and My Dark Romeo and all those that has been on my shelf for so long. Not on my shelf, sorry, on my list for so long. And I've just recently got, it's like the special anniversary edition, so it's really thick. And I'm like, it's a bit intimidating, but I would love to get around to that one. Next up is another one which I don't actually own, which I think I'm planning on just doing the audiobook for from Spotify, and that is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, because I believe this is the one that's like a haunted house type thing. And that just sounds right up my street, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I would devour that, and maybe I'll save that for around like Halloween sort of time. Now next up, this is the first one which I'm not like overly excited for, I'm not gonna lie, but it's been on my shelf for so long that I feel like I should prioritise it and try and get through it, and I think it would be a pretty big achievement for me because it's quite a thick book if I can get through it, and that is Still Life by, I want to say Sarah Winman. I'm trying to look at it on my shelf and see. Yeah, Sarah Winman. So I can't really remember what this is about. I think it might be a bit more like literary fiction with a subplot of romance. Honestly, I'm not sure, but it's more of like a summary type thing, I think. It might be set on like a island somewhere. I honestly can't tell you, can't remember. And I'm not overly excited, like I said, but I do think that it will be a big achievement if I can get to it. Next up, similarly, one that's been on my shelf for so long, and I actually don't know why I haven't got to it yet, is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. I have recently just bought The Wake Up Call by her, and I've read The Flat Share and The No Show. The No Show I loved. The Flat Share I enjoyed, but it wasn't my favourite, so hopefully I will really like The Road Trip. So now another one which I am not very sure of the plot, because again it's been on my list for so long and I've only recently just got it, is Meet Me Halfway. I think this is another romance similar to Lotus, where it's a bit more emotional depth, and again the cover is stunning and beautiful, so whatever I think of it, it's staying on my shelf. Next, oh my god, is Happy Place. I finally got it, guys. After my year-long book buying ban, I'm now able to buy books. One of the first things I did was buy Happy Place, and I need to catch up because obviously she's got a new one coming out next year and I want to get through her backlist first. Next, I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Again, this is another one I'm not sure about, but I wanted to add it to this list because it falls under that same kind of category of I heard about it a long time ago, heard good things, had it on my list, so I've got it now. And basically I just want to know what it's about and form my own opinions, really, and it seems like something quite different to what I normally read. And one of my main aims for next year is to try and broaden my reading genre horizons and read things that are a bit more out of my comfort zone that I don't typically reach for. That's why this list isn't all like Daydream by Hannah Grace and you know, all the highly anticipated stuff. It's not including those for that reason, because I know I'm going to get to them anyway, and that isn't a challenge. Do you know what I mean? Next up is Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did by Monica Murphy, because I'm just so intrigued. I hear great things about these books, this series and everything, and so I'm just like, yeah, I really want to get to that one and read that. And I think it's like the Lancaster Prep series or something, isn't it? Is it a bully romance? I can't remember, but I'm sure I will love her writing. Next up, I've got Our Secrets and Scars. I believe this is by Maisie Myers, who I think was the same person that wrote The Truth About Love, which I loved. I absolutely adored that book and the writing. And this one's quite short, so I think that this should be a nice, short, sharp, sweet book, but it also I think has a bit of emotional depth, and it's like pen pals, I think. Next up, I've got Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I've only read Rock Paper Scissors by her, I believe, so I want to give another one of her books a go, and this one just seems quite interesting to me. Again, I don't really remember anything about the plot, but my version of the cover, I love it because it's got like sprayed edges and stuff, and it's seems shorter than some of these others, so I think it will be very enjoyable. And I do hear great things, like I hear a lot of people talk about that one rather than some of her others. Next up is a bit of a rogue random one that I've never really heard anyone talk about, and that is A Million Dreams by Danny Atkins. Firstly, the cover of this one, oh, absolutely stunning. Secondly, I've had it on my shelf for so long. This is again similar to like Still Life and The Road Trip and that, where it's been on my shelf for so long now. I just want to get through it at this point, and I feel like it would be a big accomplishment if I could, and it seemed quite intriguing to me at the time when I bought it, so I can't remember the plot now, but I think it will be quite enjoyable. Next up is one which I've recently just been gifted. Oh my god, my friend got me it for Christmas, and that is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I flipping love Lauren Asher. I eat her books up, and let me tell you, I cannot wait to start this. Like, I want to read The Final Offer by her first, which actually The Final Offer is also on this list, so I probably should have spoke about that one first, but I'm kind of just going through in the order that I wrote them. So The Final Offer and Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher are both on this list, and once I've read them, I'm up to speed with her releases. So I'll probably do The Final Offer first, just to round out that series, and then move on to The Lakefront Billionaires. But oh, her writing's just so easy to read and fly through, and just so quick to like immerse yourself in the world. I just love her writing so much. I honestly think she's probably one of my favourite authors. I don't think she's my favourite, but she's up there in like top 3 or 5. Oh my god, next up we have a fantasy romance, and that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've just recently got this one as well, guys. And I cannot wait to read it because the amount of quotes and like great things that I hear about this book, like what more can you ask for, honestly? Oh my god, the next one, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. So I read Icebreaker at the very beginning of this year in January, and I fell in love with it. I adored that book. I read it on my Kindle, and if I buy a book on Kindle, I never buy the physical copy afterwards. It's just I don't like to buy them duplicated, but this is the one book that I did because I could not help myself. And so my friend has recently just gifted me Wildfire for Christmas as well, and let me tell you, I cannot wait. And then it will be Daydream, and Henry's book, I can't wait. So I need to read Wildfire to be able to read Daydream, so that's why Wildfire is on this list. Then I've got 2 Penelope Douglas books. So I've got Corrupt and The Bully, because The Bully I bought on Kindle last year and still haven't read, so I need to get to that because I shouldn't have bought it until I was ready to read it otherwise. And I did fully intend to read it for a specific video, but it just never happened. I scrapped it. And then Corrupt is one which I have on Prime Reading, so I kind of want to get through that so that I can swap it out for something else afterwards. So yeah, those 2. I do really like Penelope Douglas's writing from what I've read from her before. So far I've read Punk 57 and Birthday Girl, loved them both, so I know it's a bit of a controversial opinion, but hopefully these 2 will not disappoint. Then I've got The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, because I still haven't read it yet and my friend got me it for Christmas. You see a recurring theme. We did book advent calendars for each other, so we gave each other a lot of books. But I need to read that one to be able to read the sequel for another video, so hopefully that will be one that I get to fairly quickly, and it's quite short and I hear amazing things about it. And then finally, last but not least, Six of Crows. Guys, I have Six of Crows in Crooked Kingdom, and when I tell you, I am like on the edge of my seat to read them. And the fact that it's like, apparently it's like a heist kind of thing, and it's like all my favourite characters from Shadow and Bone. Like, I don't really care too much about reading Shadow and Bone series. Like, I thought about it, but then I was like, well, when I've watched the show, I've only really been interested in the Crows characters. So I think I'm just going to do the duology and just leave it at that. And then if I want to go read Shadow and Bone, I can read it afterwards. But Six of Crows is my final one on this list. So there you have it. Those are the 24 books that I'm hoping to read in 2024. Please pray for me that I actually get to them, and I'm going to have to try and figure out logistically how I want to do it, because I'm also going to be randomly generating TBRs still, so hopefully these books are either going to fall under the prompts or I'm going to have enough space to fit them in as extras. But hopefully there's going to be loads of bigger and better content coming in 2024. I have lots planned already that hopefully you're going to really enjoy. Hopefully I should be getting all my health issues sorted out early 2024, so that then hopefully I can be able to create more content for you guys more consistently, because my health has been a big factor this year as to why I haven't been able to. So yeah, hopefully things are looking up, and on the bright side I have loads of new books, so I'm happy with that. But yes, if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff you guys know how to do. Remember to turn on the bell notification if you haven't already, so that you don't miss all my future uploads, and hopefully I will see you in another video very soon.